Right, hello everyone. So this is Creative in Residence number 13.
Yes.
Yes, and appropriate for Halloween month, as we were saying before we started. So today, Kuroi is going to show us some tips and tricks, I guess, on making puffy clothing items. So, puffy
Yes.
clothing.
Mhm,
Uh,
exactly.
so marvelous. So the tool of choice for this is obviously Marvelous Designer, and that's pretty much all we'll be looking at. Is essentially looking at using Marvelous Designer to make these types of clothing, as we have been doing for the past 12 weeks.
Yeah, we are using Malvarez
Yeah,
Designer all the time, as you
yeah,
probably noticed,
yeah.
because it's
So,
easy to create
well,
clothing.
yeah, relative to Blender and Max or Maya, yeah, definitely. Right. So, with all of that said, take it away, Kuroi.
Yeah, like Jaskat mentioned, we are going to make a puffy clothing. So maybe we can do create a puffy jacket that could be relevant because it's getting colder
Oh yeah.
outside. So I mean, depends where you are, right?
Yes.
Of course, but yeah, if you are just in Europe, you're probably experiencing rain and cold weather.
Yes.
All right, so we will start from scratch to just create a simple pattern that looks like a jacket, and we will add a volume to it. So we'll try to make a puffer, some kind of a winter garment. Okay, so we can start from either polygon or rectangle. It doesn't really matter, and we will create symmetrical clothing. So let's get to it. So you probably know the drill, right? We are just creating something that looks like a pattern of a front, maybe t-shirt or just a jacket. So let's just add points here and there. And maybe we can add another point somewhere here. I mean, there are many ways, as I said, you can start with a polygon and just draw this pattern. So either way you use, it's fine. All right, so I'm just using edit pattern tool, which is very handy because you can edit and this is just like Bezier curves, right? Creating those curvy areas for sleeves and for the neckline as well. All right, that should be fine. And well, it's almost done. Let's just correct this area. As you can see, you have those small handles here, so you can always adjust the curve to your needs. And of course, you have the number, so this is the length of the entire curve here, and this is the length of the line you have here. All right, so now we can just unfold this pattern, right? So click on this line. So this is the internal line, and we can unfold symmetric with symmetric editing, of course, and sewing. One click, and you have entire front created.
So what's the difference between that and, because I think previously you've done the whole front.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
Well, this is the difference because we are going to
Is it just
split.
symmetry?
This is symmetry, but yes, but we are going to split this in a second.
Oh,
So
okay.
let me just cut this. Yeah. And this should still preserve the symmetrical editing. Does it? Yes.
Right,
Because we
okay.
are creating jackets. So I just want to create something that we can in the future edit to make something like open jacket, right? We don't have
Right,
to make zipped jacket. We can
right,
make it open in the future. So this one will help us in the nearest future when we want to utilize this pattern because it's good to create, let's say, a set of different patterns, right? For
right.
t-shirts, for let's say trousers, jackets,
Yeah,
and then when we want to create something different, we can just open one file
Yeah.
and edit it. We don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
It's easier to have some pre-made, and I do this all the time. I always, when I have new idea, I always check if I have created something similar and or something that reminds, it looks like the new,
Right. So
um,
basically templates.
yeah, yeah, templates, and it will make your life easier, and it will just create faster, right?
Right.
All right, so now we have to just create a back panel, so we can copy this and we'll edit this in a second. So Control C and Control V, you just copy this one, and let's just move it on the back. And I, as you maybe remember, I
Yeah.
always
Rotate.
rotate this one because flipping normals would make this um,
It makes it
entire
X a little bit
creating,
funny. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It changes the behavior.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just move this a bit closer, and let's just edit this part to make this something like, oh, maybe this one should be fine. And now we can just sew it together. And this is, I mean, I'm not sure, is it sew? No. Okay, so we have to sew those two parts. So let me just go to segment sewing and connect this pattern. And now we can go to the top of our pattern and segment sewing. As you probably remember, we can use
Yes.
the 3D window or 2D window. It's up to you. You always have to remember about those lines. And when we have symmetric sewing, I mean symmetry, the sewing is going to be symmetrical as well. As you can see, let me just undo. And if I do this side, it automatically sew this part as well. So that's the advantage of
Right.
unfolding this part.
Right.
All right, so as you can see, yeah, we have something open. For now, I will just try to sew it together and we can remove this later, right? Okay,
Right. Okay.
I see that it's a bit too long for a jacket, probably. So let me just make this smaller, I mean shorter in this case. We can always adjust the length later. It doesn't matter now. Okay, so let's just create a sleeve. So another rectangle. And I want to split this, but in a second, let me just edit curvature. All right, that should be fine. And I'm adding another point to split the line here. And you can also split lines by right clicking, and you can make this split even in the middle. All right, now let's go and adjust this to the well, to the hand of the avatar. So let's go to, did I set up the points? Not bounding volume, arrangement points. Yes, you probably remember this one,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You don't have to manually adjust this. I mean, to some extent, of course.
Mm.
And where is it? Oh, it's over here. I don't usually use it that much, but it's useful when you have sleeves. Oh, I went too far. Let me just move it here, and I probably need more material. So I will just make this a bit bigger and shorter, the sleeve. All right, let's just sew this together. And now we will have to just sew this pattern to the pattern that we created in a second. I mean, a few seconds ago. All right, I will just go maybe like this because this is going to be a puffer jacket. So we want to create something that's a bit oversized because we need this volume to inflate um,
Yeah.
entire garment, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it can be a bit oversized, and as I said, you can always shrink it later. All right, so let's just sew it to the main garment. And where is it? over here, segment sewing, and oh, it should be here probably, and this one should be here. Okay, when you get those, when the pattern is inside the avatar, just use your mouse and try to drag it out from the inside. It
Mm.
shouldn't take long, and you will always be fine. As you can see, we probably still need more material here because
Mm.
it's inside of the avatar. So let me just manually adjust this. Oh, it's lag.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I was saying off camera that this version of Marvel's Designer is a bit laggy, and if you have turn on this simulation, it it's obvious that it will just lag a bit. All right, it should be, yeah, that should be better. And I will just save my file in a second. You
Yes.
know, we should do this often. I don't want to have a crash, so let's go save and save as project, and let's just type the number of our live stream. So save. It's just gonna take a few seconds to save. All right, so now we can just copy the sleeve from one side to another one. So let's go and you can just click mirror paste. Oh, did I select all the patterns? Yes, my bad. Okay, let me just copy this one. So you can mirror paste. Oh, why does it do this? Oh, okay, I know why. You need to copy first, right? So right click, copy, and then mirror paste. And let's just paste it on the other side. And let's just manually drag this to the area that it should be. Of course, you can right click and reset the pattern, right? And manually adjust this by arrangement points. But I think this way is just faster, right? You don't have to juggle around. So let's just sew it one more time. And before we simulate, I will manually still adjust this to the correct spot. All right. So now, well, we are almost done with the outline of our jacket. But before we do, let's just enable a wireframe on surface. As you can see,
Oof.
I want to remesh it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have the triangles
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So right click and uh, remeshing, and let's just simulate for a second. All right, and well, it doesn't look bad at all. Let's just check everything. Uh, all right, let's just make something in the front. Let's just lower the neckline maybe just a bit. And I want to add a collar, right? Something that
Mm-hmm.
will just protect your neck maybe
Mm-hmm.
from the wind. So
Yeah.
let's just save because we already have the main pattern. So if something bad happens, we can always return to our saved file. All right. So to do this, we probably need four uh, rectangles. So let's just create one, and I will already remesh this, and let's just go and copy paste. All right. Now we can attach or sew this pattern to the front. So probably this is the correct way. Yes, and this one, yeah, as you can see, you already attached those. And let's just
You know
copy.
what this is looking like? Just a sort of interject. Have you ever seen the film 2001?
Yeah.
That looks almost suspiciously like the air hostesses, the dress, the outfit, the top.
Oh.
The top that the air hostesses wear on the spaceship when Floyd,
Hmm.
I think it is going up to the space station for his very important meeting.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, it looks quite kind of similar. Let's just continue and we will see. Maybe I mean, you can, when you create something like from the image, sometimes you get, like you said, the ideas
Mm,
of clothing. So you can create multiple clothing based on one mesh, right? So
yeah, yeah,
you can stop here, save it, like you said, like the name of the movie, or anything else, and continue with your main idea, and then later return and finish the another idea. So yeah, this is the advantage of Marvel's designer, where you can just create something, and it will, let's say, spawn new
yes,
ideas.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's just quickly attach um, remaining parts. So is it this one? This one is this one. I'm already lost in my pattern, so that 3D sewing is very helpful, right? Because you know which part is which
It
in
gives
this
you an
case.
error. Does it highlight if you select the wrong edge? It highlights that you are doing that, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, in the previous Marvel designer, when you just hover on the edge,
Mm,
it highlights, but it highlights here as well, right?
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it highlights. I mean, I, as far as remember, the default settings for Marvelous Designer 11 didn't have this one, and I had to manually add this,
Mm,
as far as remember. But it was a while ago,
mm.
and already don't remember. Yeah, those are the details that you quickly forget.
mm,
So the older you get, the more things you forget.
mm-hmm.
All right, let's just sew it. Okay, yeah. And now, as you can see, it's probably too long. So let's just make this smaller a bit. Okay, oh, my bad. And this one. You can always do this as symmetrical,
I was
right?
just about to
Symmetry.
say that you haven't done these as symmetrical meshes, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's up to you. It would be easier, right? Right, if I did this as symmetrical meshes. So, but I think it's okay. You don't have to do everything as symmetrical meshes, but you can. It will is make your work easier. You wouldn't have to select both of them. All
You don't
right.
have to do everything as
Let me
symmetrical
just
meshes, but you can.
one more time. Yeah, that looks better. All right, and quick save. And well, to get more puff to get puffier jacket, you probably need to increase particle distance, but we will do this maybe later, because
mm.
it's gonna slow the entire workflow
Yeah. You
if you
want you
just
want to
increase.
establish the basic shapes first, don't
Yeah.
you?
So let's just assume, or maybe let's just add the something to define the hem of our sleeve, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like a sleeve of a jacket. I mean, maybe of a coat, but not a jacket. So let's just select bottom part, and let's offset maybe internal line. It up to you which one you choose. Well, if you want to add more volume, so you want to use external line. But if you want to subtract from the sleeve, go with internal line.
Is that mirrored as well? I can't remember
Yeah,
if
this one
it's
is mirrored.
right.
Let me just click OK, and it should
What?
be mirrored. Oh, it didn't mirror this one.
No, did you just do a copy paste?
I did with I did mirror paste.
Ah,
Why it didn't make this mirror? I did mirror paste. Okay, I don't know why. So let's just well, do this here, and internal line, it should be fine. And let's just cut and sew this line. All right, and now we will just make this shorter. Let's say this one should be fine, maybe more. Yeah, this one should be better. All right. I mean, you can add more elements, right? Like put
Mm.
something like on the bottom here. Well, maybe we can, I mean, you can do this now or later, right? It doesn't matter. You can always add or subtract something from your mesh. And yeah, we will see how it goes later. So maybe let's go with the main topic of this live stream. So let's just make a puffy jacket. You can already inflate this jacket by selecting everything and going to pressure, right? By default, that should be the pressure should be 0. If you increase this, let's say to 60,
Yeah.
yeah, it's something like this. And you can always pin this down to the bottom or make, let's say, something like a rubber band here, like we have on the sleeves, and it won't go that high. All right, let's just undo this. Okay, let me just select this and put it down. And of course, the the fabric and or the preset of fabric matters a lot here. So different fabrics will have different how do you call it, different properties. Yeah, when you inflate them, right? So silk won't inflate the same as denim. So you have to keep this in mind, and we will just cycle through fabrics maybe later to see how it looks and how it behaves when you apply different fabric preset. All right, so let's go and um, cut our jacket and create maybe something like air pockets, right? So to do this, we have a few ways. I will try to show you maybe two main and the fastest ways. So we can create internal lines. So go to this icon and choose internal polygon line, and you can create lines. And when you create line, just press enter, and it will create the line in a second. Yeah, and we'll, of course, we have symmetry, so it creates the line on the other side as well. All right,
Is there
so
a way to use existing geometry?
to create those lines,
Yeah, so that you, because how do you know that you aren't subdividing uh, an edge loop or a face loop that already exists on the mesh based on the retopology that you've already done or the restructuring?
yeah, I know
See?
what you mean,
Yeah, do you
but
see how that one's.
mhm, I didn't see this option here. I mean, you can go to topology
Yeah,
later on and
right.
just
Tidy that up.
yeah, I haven't seen this option to create this one here, but maybe let me just create, I mean, change to the mesh, and now you can see the mesh. So
Right, okay.
you can try to draw it here, right? And just press
Yes.
enter, and it probably, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
does it create the same line
No,
or
no,
is
no.
it another line.
Yeah, I see.
It's hard
Yeah,
to say. Let
yeah,
me just simulate. We'll see what happens. It's a good point that you mentioned this one, and I'm not sure. It looks like it overlaps
yeah.
the
Just a
line.
tiny, tiny bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You can see this here, I think.
Oh, yeah, because it's created essentially a
Yeah.
hard edge. Yeah.
hmm So I think that the
Oh, okay.
overlapping the edge. So
So that's
you
something that
shouldn't.
you do have to be careful of with, when you are defining edges that you need to lock down for
hmm
whatever design you're doing.
Yeah. So now you can just copy those lines right? Let's just go and select the line, copy paste, or let me just add a new line. When you have, let's say, let me just do this, do something different. Let me just make something like this, right? And now, if you copy this line, right, copy paste, let's say copy paste. This is only to show you the options here.
Yeah.
So let me just select, right click, and extend trim to pattern outline. And
All
this
right.
will trim all these internal lines
Yeah. To
to
fit
your
the pattern.
pattern outline
Nice.
to fit. Yes. So this is nice feature. Okay, let me just simulate to check everything. All right, so you can use this one, but just manually add the lines, or let me just remove the lines. You can select both edges here
Yeah.
and right click, and you should have something like offset as internal line along curved. Click it, and you will see that it creates
So it's like a
line here.
subdivisions.
Yeah, so it's something like a subdivision. You can
Yeah.
increase the number of offsets,
Yeah.
and let's just um, perpendicular
Perpendicular
direction.
direction. That's
Yeah.
that's like
So
quadrangulate.
yeah, the vocabulary is just crazy. I mean, if you get used to it, it's
Yeah.
okay. But
So perpendicular direction. Oh right. So it's
uh,
copied the shape of the. Oh, I see.
yeah, but let's just make this line straight, right?
Yeah.
It will look better. So click on straighten the line, and you have straight line, and you
Hmm.
can increase this number. Well, let's go with maybe 6. That should be fine. And what else? You can, of course, change the offset of internal lines here. I mean, internal offset and distance from the edge. So in this case, distance from the bottom edge.
Right.
And if you hit OK, you have created something like a, well, you cut the shirt, I mean, the jacket in a few places.
Hmm.
So as you said, you can call it subdivision. And you can just edit to move them, to make them more maybe straight.
Yeah. Align them to the. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To the jacket. To the
Should
pattern.
it should look a bit better. Okay, another lock. So let's just wait for us. Wait a second. All right, and let's just do this. All right. So you can repeat the same step, and you also can select two edges. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be one, right? You
Yeah.
can select two edges. Okay, wrong selection. And where is it?
Don't you
Right.
need to select an opposing edge?
Oh, I didn't.
No.
Yeah. I mean, this is symmetry. It should work. Let me just, yeah, it should work here. I don't know why it doesn't show it. Last time when I created, okay,
Didn't you select
maybe
the
I did.
internal, the opposite side on the the half of the?
Maybe I need to do this. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I need to select this one. I forgot that we have we have this one. So let's, yeah, offset as internal,
There we go.
repeat, and we have 6, right?
Yeah.
6. I don't remember the setup, but it doesn't really matter. And of course, you can reverse the direction and opposite segment as well. So depends what kind of mesh you create. Okay, let's hit OK. And as you can see, we have created our basic jacket here. All right, so but it doesn't look like a puffy jacket at the moment.
No.
We can repeat the same steps for the sleeves if we of course want. Let's just try to do this quite
So
fast,
this
a
is
bit faster.
where. Oh, it is mirrored. Oh no, it's just because you selected the edges.
Yeah,
But
I
if
selected this
it
one.
was fully mirrored, you'd be able to just do it to one sleeve, and it would
Yeah,
apply to the other.
just like here.
Yeah.
All right, let me just save the file. And it's gonna take a second, as always. Let's just simulate to see if everything works as it should. And now, well, you probably go here and increase the pressure, right? But if you increase pressure right now, it doesn't uh, do much.
Yeah, that was
It's not
kind of
not
funny.
the thing that we want to do.
No.
So to achieve a puffy jacket, let me just straighten this bottom. All right. To do this, we have to apply a trick. So let me just save one more time. I just learned to save a lot when we stream.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so select entire pattern,
If you learn
right
nothing,
click. Yeah. Okay, right click and layer clone under, and then just place it anywhere. You can place it over or anywhere. It will clone entire pattern under the mesh. You can clone over. It's up to you which would you prefer. I always go with under. If it doesn't have to be on the top, right?
mm,
So as you can see, there are some small lines here.
mm.
So those are sewing lines. So now we have two patterns. One is on the top and one is just under, right? So this one is under and this one is over, and they are connected. Every single edge and
All right.
line is
Yeah,
connected and sewed together. So let's just simulate. As you can see, it already looks like it has
starting to
more
puff up.
volume to it.
Yeah.
Now we can select our over layer and go to pressure, and let's just type maybe 30. We will see. And let me just uncheck simulation. It's gonna lag a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, we have 30, and now if we go to our under layer, let's go and type minus 30. All right, and let's try to simulate this one. All right, as you can see now,
It is
the layer
doing it.
over,
Yeah, it is doing it, but it's very subtle.
it is very subtle at the moment.
So that
And
the layer
yeah,
below it acts as a sort of a constraint
mm-hmm,
on the layer above.
yeah. So let me just try to increase this one, let's say to 60. And if you increase to 60, just repeat the same step here, 60. And as you can see, it looks way better now. And can I go to thick? And yeah, all right, so it looks better.
Mm.
And if you add more volume to the jacket, so make it bigger a bit, so the puffiness will also increase. And bear that in mind, you will have to change the fabric properties as well. So let me just go to fabric. This is the thing that we just said before. And let's just make this some look nicer. So let's go with red. Is it red okay?
Yeah, red's fine.
All right, so let's go and maybe
So if you
I,
wanted them to be more puffy, you would
yeah.
you have to alter both of the patterns or just the one that's on top?
I mean, you can alter. You can try. Let's try to increase it to, let's say, 100. Oh, it's 10.
Oh,
My bad. 0. Oh, you can't increase. I mean, the 70 is maximum. Okay.
so
So I mean,
you
you can
can't.
increase uh, only overlayer because if you want to export this one to IMVU,
Yeah,
let's say you want to export this one, you will have two
right.
layers of the same pattern, right?
Yeah,
Even in Blender,
yeah.
Max, or anything you export to. And yeah, if you
So
don't.
you're not increasing the amount of fabric on the
Hmm.
layer that's on top to
Hmm.
make something like that more puffy, but leaving the bottom layer as is because everything's
Yeah, you can leave it as it is
right, and
and
then
just go with
adjust.
this one, because this one, the underlayer is invisible.
Yeah.
And one thing you can also, I'm not sure, was it shrinkage? I think you can increase shrinkage to, let's say, 160,
Oh
and you
wow.
can see, yeah, it's very puffy. So
Uh,
shrinkage
yeah.
increases the volume of entire, let's say, entire garment you have created here,
Right.
but you don't have to change the size of the pattern, right? So you can go to shrinkage and just increase, or of course you can decrease. Let's go with 60. Yeah, and it doesn't have enough volume to just
So what happens if
inflate.
you change the actual size of the patterns? The
Um, let's just do this, okay? Yeah, why not? We can just do experiments, and it probably will cause, let me save before we do this,
yeah.
and it will probably cause glitches. We will see in a second. It might go okay after a few seconds of simulation, but okay. Yeah, as you can see,
Oh, I
it's
see.
gonna increase the
Both of
over
them.
at the under. Can I do this? Yeah, let me just check if I can just break the pattern connections, but probably not, because deactivate no pattern sewing. I don't think there is such a option here, because everything is sewn together. This line, as you can
Right.
see,
Yeah,
is
is.
sewn to the same line that is over a layer,
So
right? So
you have to set out the design of the puffy jacket to start with by making your patterns, your initial patterns, the
mhm,
size that you would want them to be.
yeah, I mean, you can edit this now, right? But it's gonna be a bit harder. But you can do this definitely. It's nothing is not impossible in Marvel's Designer. It might cause few issues, but as you can see, well, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
So yeah,
But the two patterns are locked, they're interlinked, so you can't really change one without changing the other.
yeah,
Right.
that's the issue. But it's quite fast to just oh, sorry.
Whoops.
You can just remove this, right,
Mm.
by just clicking, selecting everything, deleting, and now you can just manually edit everything and just go select and then again copy
So,
this one.
as an alternative, then, could you not? I think you meant like with the sleeves, at the end of the sleeve, you got the cuffs.
Hmm.
So you can put a cuff at the bottom of the jacket to restrict the bottom of the jacket. But
Yeah.
is there a way to then restrict the loop cuts that you've placed so that
Hmm.
you are restricting those? You're restricting the mesh based on the loop cut, so you don't have to do that duplicate inner and outer shell. Is there a way to pin them?
I mean, you can uh, go to pin. If I'm just correct, you can go to pin box, right, and
Right,
just pin everything you want to stay in place. That you can go with the box pin, so you can pin
right,
everything, and it won't move. I mean, you can move the pins, but they won't go anywhere if you just leave them as they are. So
right. But then, of
that's
course,
what.
the tricky thing is that then means that although you've pinned those elements, they
Mhm.
don't they won't move with respect to the simulation. So you're not
Yeah,
really
you
right.
what
Yeah,
you
I
can
see.
do. Let's just try something. Let's just create
A hem.
maybe this one. Let's add a new fabric, because it doesn't have to. You don't have to limit yourself by just one fabric, right?
Mm.
You can create more fabrics. Let's just apply the fabric number 3 in this case. And for the sake of this tutorial, let's just make it blue. All right, so let's just quickly copy paste and let's go and sew them together. Oh, not editing, but just segments. And we should repeat the same step for the back one. So copy and mirror paste. I'm just checking the other options. No, okay. So mirror paste. And let's just move them back to back.
And then rotate.
Yeah, just you know the drill, right?
Yeah.
Move them to the back and rotate.
Yes. To the back and rotate.
All right, so sewing. So let's just do this very fast. And let me just sew them in 3D view as well. I mean, it should be enough to show you what I want, or what I have in mind. Yeah. So as you can see,
Mm.
why does it go upstairs?
Oh, is it flipped around? It's just
Yeah,
inverted
it is
again.
flipped. I did something wrong. Okay, I know what I did. I did wrong. You can see
Yeah.
that's the perfect example of sewing that went wrong. So let's go to edit sewing and just delete segment one more time. And yeah,
Yeah. There
all
we
right.
go.
As you can see, so this pattern is not copied over this one, right? So this is a flat pattern and it's not inflated because we have it. This pattern is set as different fabric, so it doesn't have the same properties. And we can also, of course, change the fabric. Let's go with silk. Yeah. And you can also make this, let's say, elastic. So you can select everything. So 4 patterns and click
All
or
right.
check elastic. As you can see, it's
Whoops.
gonna go up because this is very elastic and we don't have enough material here.
Yeah.
So let's go back, maybe a bit down. Oh, wrong button. When it goes up,
Oh, has it
something
gone
may,
inside the mesh?
yeah.
Yeah.
So one way to fix this one is just select and reset 3D arrangement, and now simulate again, and you are done. So that's the easy way to fix
Yeah.
when you just do something wrong and you don't have to start over. So let's just save the file. Let me just wait a second. All right, and let's try to just select edges and go with elastic. Okay, well, it's almost doing the
Yeah.
thing that it should do. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we can decrease the strength of the elastic properties, right?
Mm.
And ratio. It doesn't do much, but yeah, it works better now.
Mm.
All right, as you can see, you can do this to the um, pattern here. I mean, you can change the fabric to number 2 and simulate, and it doesn't have the same properties as the
Mm.
uh, puffy jacket. All right, let's just do this. All right, and when you want to export this one, right, if you are satisfied with everything you see here,
Mm-hmm.
you can go with, you can also go to straighten before you export. It will make your texture appear some kind of a orange
Mm-hmm.
color, but the fabric is now very solid.
Mm-hmm.
It still moves, but as you can see, when you simulate, it has different properties and it's something like a rubber or something
Mm.
different.
Yeah.
So before you export, let's just, you can do this. We don't have to, of course. So let's just undo this step, unstraighten. One thing, you can freeze patterns to keep them in place, right? So let's just select the color, right click and freeze. This way, um, the color won't simulate and won't go anywhere. So
Mm.
you can just drag anything else, but that color will remain in place.
Mm.
So this is another way of doing something like pinning uh, the pattern to exact place where it should stay forever. And now, if you are ready, you can export this one, right? But if you don't, and you are, I mean, if you are not going to open the jacket and you are not going to see interior, right, of the jacket,
Yeah.
why should you increase the geometry of the mesh? Because if you export this, you will export two patterns, right?
Mm.
And it will increase the size of the mesh in IMVU. So just let's just uncheck the unclick simulation and just remove this one, the internal
Oh, okay. So
pattern,
it's frozen.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and export just this one. This way, you will save yourself a lot of work
Mm.
because you won't have to weld. I mean, not weld. Sorry, wrong word. You won't have to do
Yeah.
the
Clean up the additional
yeah, clean
faces and
up, and
things. Yeah.
also
Yeah.
you don't have to apply the skin modifier
Yeah.
uh, and just um,
Yeah.
paint the weights. Oh, weight. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was weight. I forgot the word. So you don't have to weight the interior of your jacket. It's very close to each other, so
Mm.
it might work fine,
Mm.
but it's hard to tell which one will be better. And I forgot to show you how it behaves when you apply different fabrics.
Well,
So
before
before we,
before you do,
yeah,
so obviously for a puffy jacket or puffy clothing, a crucial element of the appearance of those is the alignment between the panels, front and back,
yeah.
particularly. So how do you modify the subdivisions to get them aligned front and back?
I mean, if you have the same size of this
Because
one,
you
right?
did six
Yeah.
subdivisions on both of them. It's just that their distance apart
Yeah,
was a
I
bit.
moved them everywhere to a different place. I know I I didn't look it up, but you can manually just select. Let's go to edit pattern, select, let's say, the line, and well, you will have to probably manually move them. Okay, let's just move this down a bit. Or another way, I haven't thought about this. Let me just save. You gave me an idea.
Uh,
Yeah,
that's
but
what I
I'm not
do.
sure if it's gonna work. It might work. It might just destroy the mesh. That's why I just decided to save it. Let me just try to do something. Let's just remove, and then if we select this one and this one, right click, and oh, did I select everything correctly? I'm not sure if it's gonna work, so it should be working, yes or not. So let's add 6. Straighten the line, perpendicular, and hit OK.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
so it's aligned now.
Mm,
And you will need to have the exact length of the front and
mm,
back panel, right?
mm-hmm.
So you can check the number here, and the number should be the same. Is it the same? Oh, almost. It's almost the same. It's
20.
52 and 52.1. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that shouldn't matter a lot. so that those values are not visible here because, as you can see, it's
It's
almost
super tiny.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too small to cause issue. All right, let me just reopen the project, and it was this one. Yeah, so now I just wanted to show you how it behaves when you apply different materials or different presets in this case. So let's just press simulate and watch how it behaves. All right, so you can always decrease or increase the pressure value
Mm.
if you have too much of the puffiness. So I mean, as you can see, even if we have the puffiness, I mean the pressure, it's at 60, right? Probably.
Mm.
So the wool, cashmere, it's not inflated because I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
imagine how can you inflate cashmere, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, silk should be fine. Maybe latex could look nice as well. We have latex here. It should be somewhere here. I mean, it's alphabetical, so C. Okay, linen
Mm.
and leather. Maybe leather. Oh no, leather.
Yeah.
It's lamp skin, so no. All right,
PVC.
yeah, but you probably get the point how how to do this and how it behaves differently when you just change. Yeah, it's very puffy. It's too much. Okay, before we finish, maybe I will just try to open this jacket, right? Because oh, before we do this, can we apply a different uh, fabric to this? Let me just add another fabric. Then let's go with something. What's the? It's green number 2. Okay, and can I apply different fabric to the interior? Probably yes. Yeah. And now let me just quickly save.
Does that change the characteristics of the simulation then?
Yeah, of course. So we'll have to copy. I mean, we can copy the um, where is pressure. Where is pressure? Pressure is when I select everything, it's pressure. All right. Let me just select the patterns. Did I select everything or not? Probably not. So let's just move something. Let's just clean up for a second before we go anywhere further. Okay, and we should have the pressure. Okay, 70. Okay, so the pressure is to the max.
Maxed out. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just move this one as well. So that's the beauty of the Marvel's designer because you can move the patterns anywhere you want.
Mm.
All right. And yeah, oh, it's minus 60, so it's almost the same. All right.
Mm.
And now let's just try. Let me just save again.
Yeah.
Let's try to unseo or just remove the connection between those front panels. And where is it? Edit sewing. And just select the sewing that's in here. Come on. Can I select this one? Is it this one? Probably yes. And simulate. Oh, we have to remove the sewing here as well. So edit. I mean, you can leave it like this,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
but we want to just open the jacket, right? All right, yeah. So let's just move it aside. And now,
Oh, I see. You
when you
can
want
see
to
the
have,
yeah, inside
yeah,
and
so
outside.
you see inside the jacket,
Yeah.
and you can export now. You can export both versions, right?
Yeah.
You will probably want to remove the sleeves
Yeah.
because you don't see the interior of the
Yeah. You
sleeves,
don't
right?
need them. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can save few megabytes,
Yeah.
it's worth
Yeah. Yeah.
doing so. I always remove the interior of the sleeves unless you just flip them over to see the interior. But yeah, this one could look nice when you just do this. Okay, and you can also go with pins, and let's just select pin, and you can do something like this with a
Oh,
pin
okay. Mm.
to just to make it like a nonchalant clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like this. Or wind blows
Yeah.
very hard. Yeah. Okay, as you can see, the simulation still goes here,
Yeah.
but you can stop it by just adding another pin. And yeah, it's quite nice feature to
Mm.
go. And you can combine different tools to just achieve the effect you want. And of course, you can still edit this jacket in Blender or Max, right?
Mm.
Just to add something, the final touch. And I almost forgot to increase the particle distance. So let me do this. If we crash, we crash. I usually
Yeah.
work with particle distance 20,
Yeah.
but let's just make it 10 and simulate. It will probably, I mean, definitely, it will increase the quality of the puffiness, right? As you
Mm.
can see, yeah, it looks even better now.
Mm.
So the lower you go, the better quality you get, but the mesh is gonna be very heavy when
Yeah.
it comes to where is wireframe? Oh, over here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's quite heavy now, and you can. I mean, you don't probably don't see this, but the simulation is slower now. You can always, if you have fast GPU, you can go with GPU, and it will be faster for you,
Yeah.
and it's only for you, of course.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
it'll burn your computer up.
yeah. And if you have laptop, it will just burn
Yeah.
your knees.
Yeah. Burn a
Uh,
hole through to China.
yeah. All right. I think that covers everything when it comes to creating puffy jacket. As you can see, it looks kind of nice.
Mm.
I will just save it for later. Maybe I will just work on it or make it from scratch because it's winter, so it's time to create. I mean, not winter. Winter is coming, so
Yes.
it's time to
Or
create more
autumn, winter.
uh,
Yeah.
winter meshes and winter garment.
So how would you,
Before, yeah.
if you rotate the character around so we can see the back? So you've got the split down the back. How would you
Oh,
get rid of
yeah.
that?
You probably need. Uh,
Because it's a mirrored.
mhm. Yeah, that's the drawback. But there was. Oh no, it's not delete line.
Is there a merge option?
There's. Okay, I can unfold this one. Hmm. I forgot about the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you probably need. I mean, you would go with one panel, but one back panel.
Yes.
So that would be better. Let me just try something. Let me just remove one side. And if you unfold this one, can I unfold? And now what happens? Yeah. So you need to unfold
Whoa.
this. I mean, yeah, it will just remove the
Oh,
sewing,
oh, right. Of course. Yeah.
but uh, don't split, don't split it like I did here.
Yeah.
Just remain. I mean, stay with the unfolded pattern, and you will have these correct,
Right.
let's say, um, and stride, maybe puffiness.
Mm.
How, okay. Before we go, just final, maybe something to show you. Final showcase. So I want to add because not all of you create garments, right? So you can create some. Last time we tried to show you
Oh, yes.
what
The
did we?
cushion.
Oh, cushion. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's just create something to show you how fast can you create, let's say, something to sit on it or something puffy um, using the same techniques that you just saw or just learned a few seconds ago. So let's just remesh this one very fast and let's just lower. I mean, yeah, it's 20. All right, so that's very high poly. All right, it's fine. it can be like this.
It's just a big.
So
It looks dense because it's a big square.
yeah, maybe that's why. I mean, definitely that's the case. And you can just go with the lines. Oh, I want to check something. So let me just do an experiment. I never done this one. No, you can't go with this one. Okay, I wanted to add something like a squared
Mm.
uh, internal lines, but it's impossible, I think.
Mm.
So let's go with maybe 10. Everything should be aligned. So, all right, that's good. And let's go with the same on the other side. So let's add 10. All right, yeah. I hope my computer can
Yeah.
stand this. So let's just, oh, let's just select this. Let's just move it aside because it's too close. All right, and let's just increase pressure, maybe 60. And then right click, layer clone under, and then we can make this minus 60. And let's just test this. All right. And let me just remove this wireframe. All right. So as you can see,
It's bubble wrap.
yeah, or you can just treat it as some kind of cushion, maybe, or
Yeah, inflatable.
nice looking.
Yeah.
I don't know how we call it,
It's a
straw.
camping mat. One of those
Yeah,
inflatable camping mats you take out
yeah.
when you
So
go
you can
camping.
create parts of furniture,
Mm.
right? And if you don't need the bottom, you can only export the top, right? So you can always delete the bottom now. Let's just pause simulation, delete the bottom, and now, well, you are left with this one.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice and you can use it. I mean, I will try to simulate this, but it will probably fly out
Yeah.
somewhere else. Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That was the bonus
Yeah. So
for
that's
this tutorial.
so it's the same thing again, that if you wanted to adjust the number of subdivisions,
Yeah.
you can edit the lines or the subdivisions after they've been put in.
Yeah, of course. So you can of course add, and you can of course change the particle distance to make the mesh, uh, let's say low poly, and it still should look fine. Yeah.
So how do you
So
remove the subdivisions? You know, the lines that you put in. Those you just select and delete them.
oh, you want to remove everything?
Well, not everything.
I
I
mean,
mean, so
you
if
meant
you
you want to? Hmm.
yeah, so if you wanted to reduce the number of squares that you've got, would you be able to select individual edges and remove them?
You can remove the lines
Yeah,
just by hand. Let's say this
yeah,
one every second, right?
yeah.
So you can do this.
So it's just select and delete.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
did I delete? Yeah. And just simulate.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
And yeah, you have something like this,
Yeah.
like chocolate
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah. Chocolate bar. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do this. I doubt you can do this like this, uh, because yeah, it's gonna add. It's going to
Yes.
add more. So no,
Right. Yeah. So you can't
you will have
subtract
to
them.
hmm
All right.
So you have to at least now manually select uh, the lines that you want to remove and then press simulate. Yeah.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is, and you can create a lot of different. Oh, let me just stop simulation because it's lagging. Yeah, so I think that covers at least the basics, right?
Yeah.
So you can go further from this point and
And of course, it would be
a
the
lot
same
of
for
details.
it would be the same for pants and trousers.
Yeah.
Same process.
The same techniques applies to almost every garment here that you
Yeah,
can create, and you can create some like hats, caps uh, in Marvel Designer as well. So
yeah,
you can go and apply the same technique here.
nice. Right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it's again, it's another one of those things that you look at and you watch and you think how long that would take you to do in 3D Studio Max or Blender or Maya or whatever app you're using.
Yeah, I
And
remember I did puffers in 3D Studio Max, and oh my, it
yes, yeah,
it takes a lot of time to
yeah.
create maybe not the same, but
Well,
some kind of
I mean,
similar pattern.
yeah, that's kind of why I was asking about how
Hmm.
because you would sort of pin certain edge loops so that you could inflate other things in relation to it if you
Yeah.
were doing it in Max. But this is just makes it so much. It's if clothing was your thing, really you'd need to you. I mean, really, you need to get Marvelous. It's because it's just. I mean, in that way, you are creating, designing the clothing in Marvelous, and the only thing that you really then need to concern you with is the prep work of exporting from Marvelous, getting that into
Hmm.
your 3D app, and
Yeah.
linking it all up with the skeleton.
Yeah, it takes more time to just weight the mesh right in Blender
Yes.
or Max than create
Yeah.
entire
Yeah.
mesh
Literally.
in
Yes.
Marvelous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean
I
that
mean,
that would
if
be the tricky thing because obviously the density of the mesh that you make in Marvelous is
hmm
much it's much higher than the
yes.
default avatars that you use for weight painting. So
Hmm.
that's where that's where it gets tricky.
The fun start, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's very hard just to weight high poly meshes to the
Yes.
avatar that it's so probably low poly in
Yes.
nowadays. It's
Yeah.
low poly mesh.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's getting harder to
Yeah.
get there, to get just the movements of the avatar with entire clothing behave and not glitch, right?
Yes. Yeah. Especially
So
with
that's
custom body shapes.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's even harder.
I mean, that's the thing that if you are making clothing for custom body shapes, there's going to be a lot of trial and error
Mm-hmm.
of you weight paint everything using the default avatar. Use it well, if you're using the clothing tool or the starter files for the the various apps, and then you have to export and do a lot of testing and adjustments to make sure your clothing fits.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you
Yes.
don't have access to the the underlying avatar if it's a custom body shape.
Yeah, that's even harder if you have your
Mm,
custom avatar on your, let's say, Blender or Max. That's not that hard, right?
yeah.
I mean, the tricky point part in Max is exporting this as FBX.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Clothing with the
At the moment, as
Yeah.
at least we
Yeah.
are trying to fix this one
Yeah.
to just export custom tops and
Yeah.
bottoms because and the toolkit is great tool at least for Blender,
Mm,
and it needs more work for Max at the moment,
yeah.
but
Just the clothing bit.
yeah, it's great tool, and I think it got a bright future for
Yes.
Max and not only for Blender as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Excellent. All right then. That was again very interesting. Watching. It is. It's just it's just seeing how. I mean, that's what an hour. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of chat, and if you were just
Yeah,
doing this, it wouldn't really necessarily take you this long. But
it's
that's
like 20 minutes for
yeah,
you
yeah,
without the
yeah,
chatting
yeah. I mean,
and
doing that
distractions.
exactly doing that in Blender or Max is just I mean, it's not 20 minutes, it's 20 days.
Yeah, even if you use symmetry in Max,
Yes,
it's gonna take a lot of
yes,
time.
yeah, exactly. Right. Well, thanks for that for number 13. So that's Creator in Residence number 13. puffy jackets. That's the basics. Obviously, we're just covering the basics and not necessarily doing anything serious, so to speak. Because obviously, you would take your time
Mm-hmm.
and design your item properly.
Yes, of course. The more, as we said last time, the more time you spend designing in Marvel's Designer, the less time you have to just fix
Yes.
this in Blender or Max.
Yeah, so just because you can do things quickly doesn't mean you should be doing them quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
A universal truth.
Yeah, I mean, because you want to avoid as much. I mean, basically, you want to keep your meshes as tidy and clean as you can in Marvelous to reduce the amount of time that you spend in, the other 3D apps, cleaning things up and tidying things up in order for them to work in IMVU.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much for that again. So that's number 13. We'll have another one next week. I'm not quite sure what it'll be on.
Yeah, we will see if it's gonna be particles.
Oh yes.
In Studio, maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Why not?
Yes. Yeah, we need to do a couple of studio.
Yeah, we have few features, and new features are still coming,
Yes.
like the convex
Oh,
reflections.
the convex reflections. Yes.
Yeah, that's quite nice feature
Yeah.
that just arrived to Studio.
Yeah. Well, we might take a look at that in the coming weeks. So, thanks very much, Curoi. Thanks, Narcissistic, Holly. I think that's it. Narcissistic and Holly. All the lurkers that lurk and all the watchers that watch this after the fact. And yes, when this is on IMVU's official channel, it is a rebroadcast. You're not watching it live. Because
Yeah, don't you can comment when we just live stream this one, but when it's broadcasted by IMView, it's already let's say a few weeks late. So,
yes, it's been done and dusted.
we can answer the comments, but
yeah,
we have limited.
Yeah, so but if you do have any questions, you can drop them in the discussions or
Yes, of course.
message via DM or personal message on IMVU, and we'll answer them. But yes, if you're watching this after the fact, it's going to be a rebroadcast. Right, yes. So thanks very much, Kiroi, and we shall see you all on the next stream, which will be next Monday.
Yes. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you on Monday.
Yes, you sound like a flight attendant. Thank you very much for your attention, and we shall see you on Monday.
The doors are on the right side.
Yeah. Right, all right. We'll see you next week. Bye for now, everyone.